If the soil loses its strength, our bodies will also weaken. This means the next generation that we produce will be less than us. That is a crime against humanity. Without having substantial amount of green litter from the trees and the animal waste, there is no way we can revive this soil. For this to happen, it is important that we must partner with the farmers. Not only then we will be able to manage the fertility of the soil for future generations. Namaskaram, greetings to all of you at UNCCD. One fundamental that most human beings have forgotten is that we are not different from the land that we walk upon. We are just a small outcrop of this earth. If the soil loses its strength, our bodies will also weaken, not just in terms of nourishment and the nutritional value of the food that we consume, but in a very fundamental way. This means the next generation that we produce will be less than us. When we produce a generation which is less than ourselves, that is a crime against humanity. There is no way to maintain the richness of the soil, to manage the biodiversity that exists in the soil without constantly adding organic material to the soil. Right now, we are taking away a whole lot of it in the form of agricultural crops, but there is no addition. We are trying to manage our crops by just adding salts that we call as fertilizers. Without having substantial amount of green litter from the trees and the animal waste, there is no way we can revive this soil. It is important that we understand soil is the basis of who we are, and the best way to do this is, we have to put at least 50 to 60% of the world's soil under tree shade. That is when the organic content in the soil will be maintained, and for this to happen, it is important that we must partner with the farmers, not just looking for wastelands. It is important that we partner with the agricultural activity so that at least 30% of human diet should come from trees. Only then we will be able to manage the fertility of the soil for future generations. Right now, of the 51 million square kilometers of land that is being used for agriculture on the planet, nearly 40 million square kilometers is being used just to raise animals and to raise feed for them. So this means nearly 77% of the agricultural land is just being used to service the requirement of meat consumption for human beings. If we drop our meat consumption by 50%, 20 million square kilometers of land would become free for tree plantation. Tree plantation not just in a wild way, in a strategic way we can do it, that substantial amount of our food and also the animal food can come from the trees. This is very important to do at this juncture if we want to manage the richness and the fertility of the soil. Soil is the basis of our future. We may be talking about economies, we may be talking about stock markets, we may be talking about steel production, of oil production. Well, all this is fine, but the most important thing for the well-being of the future generations is these 39 inches of soil across the planet on an average, 39 inches of topsoil. If we manage this soil with very rich organic content and biodiversity, that is where the future of humanity rests, and the mission on which the UNCCD is the most important mission. This has to become a very significant force in every nation across the planet. Just being within the UN is not important. This has to become the agenda for every government in the world. This has to become the main agenda for every one of us to see that we offer a rich soil to the next generation. Without this, we are depriving them of future.